Wealth doesn't grow on hope. Take charge of your finances and follow the rich roadmap. That's what our guest today says. And you're going to get to hear all about it. We are super excited to have hanging out with us in the virtual green room, Tremaine Wills. We're going to tell you a little bit more about her in this segment that we have a great show topic, financial planning for entrepreneurs. We're going to get right into it right after this quick intro. Don't you move. You're listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Again, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. We certainly appreciate all of those that are checking us out as our platform is building here. We know that messages are going out all across Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and all of the places. We're glad to have all of our live viewers. If you're new to our audience, let us know in the chat. We want to shout you out. And we are always excited to have those that are listening in the podcast version. Yes, we are glad to have you, and on Blog Talk Radio. Certainly we can't leave you out. Oh, by the way, if you're listening from our main website, Sharvette.com, I have a new feature where you will see our lovely guest and her picture and her bio. And guess what? We have a new feature where you can hit download, and it will download all of the guest information with links and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I wanted to let you know all about it. But listen, before I get away from myself, I want to make sure that you know that this segment is brought to you by my Facebook community. Hey, girl, hey. That's, how we talk to each other over there. For women entrepreneurs, where I host exclusive trainings. I host exclusive trainings in this Facebook group. So this segment is brought to you by that community. If you're on Facebook, hashtag coaching with Vet, that's me. Or wherever you're listening from, really easily, heygirlhey.today will drop you right into the group. Heygirlhey.today, not .com, not .org. .today will drop you right in there. And guess what? You will be right in line for our next exclusive training, complimentary. Did I mention that? Complimentary. That's going to be coming up on Monday, January 30th, all about marketing and confidence. And let's have a conversation about that. If you're new to me and you're like, who is this? Somebody shared the link. I don't even know who you are. I am Sharvette Mitchell, and I work with entrepreneurs and help them tell their stories through marketing so that they enrich their lives and grow their businesses. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right on in, and let me introduce my guest who is just waiting. Listen, she's waiting to come up to the mic. Tremaine Wills, MBA, is here with us. She's an investment advisor, tax strategist, and financial planner. She is the owner of Mind Over Money. Yes. A registered investment advisory firm where she is focusing on helping ambitious minority entrepreneurs manage their personal and business finances. Tremaine is a certified financial education instructor who is passionate about building wealth in our community. This passion led her to create and build the 4 Collective, a community focused on helping 1 million entrepreneurs grow their invested assets to 1 million over the next 20 years. Listen, put your hands together, and coming on up to the mic live on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, we have Tremaine. Hey there. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey. So first of all, let me say yes to this platform. Okay. I was like, hey, girl. Hey, not today. Yes. I'll be coming to join that group to have some good conversation.
Oh, yes. Gosh. We would love it. Thank you so
much for having me.
It is so great to meet you and feature you. And I love your energy already because you know what? Talking about money sometimes people get a little funny, right? They get a little funny.
Yeah.
They get a little funny. And so having good energy, I think about it is great. Shout outs coming all the way in. Listen, my mom is going to always be in the audience. Hey, mom. Hey, mom. Hanging out over on YouTube. Hey, Kim. Hey, girl. Hey, Kim and Deborah. Thank you for being here always, as always. All right. So let's jump right on in. And like, when did you fall in love with numbers and money and all of that?
Sharvette, it's been an interesting journey. I would say I probably didn't fall in love with numbers as much as I did fall in love with the freedom to buy what I wanted to buy. Right? I was 13. And I had gotten this new skill of learning how to braid hair, right? And I had gotten pretty good at it. So this was my first crack at getting paid to do something. And so that was like my step into entrepreneurship. And I learned that I could make money with my skills and my talents. And I didn't have to ask for McDonald's money. Right. And so that was kind of like the introduction to, I can make money and buy the things I want to buy. So let me get better at this, become an expert at doing hair. And it got so good. My mom made me business cards. My business is called Tame Your Mane, Braids by Tremaine. Okay.
Oh, I love that.
So, right. So, I was a local girl, just in the neighborhoods, doing everybody hair, getting this money. Right.
Yeah.
But after a while, my fingers started hurting, my back hurt from standing up, and mind you, I'm a teenager. So I should be having these kinds of pains.
Right.
And I started to think I can't be working hard like this.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And nobody was talking about saving or investing or anything, but I was just I'm not trying to be standing on my feet all the time. So that's when I started to think about, well, what do I not know about money? And so I went to pursue a degree in business with a concentration on accounting and economics, and it was history from there.
It was history, just some powerful information. Once you got that information, then you were like, I'm off and running from here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so I love that. And so I saw something on your Instagram that I thought was really kind of just a great quote for you to elaborate on. And on your Instagram, it says, achieving our goals isn't always easy, but by replicating a simple strategy, we can increase the chance of success. And I think actually that was from one of your reels. So shout out, you do a lot of great reels. And if you're on Sharvette.com, you can see her links in the show notes. You can see links to connect with her there. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I think when we really get down to the core of why most of us want money, it's so that we can achieve some sort of goal. We want to do something. We want to experience something. We want to have something, and it's not really about the money itself, right? But for a lot of us, we harp on and we focus on a dollar amount. Right. I want to make 6 figures. I want to have $1 million, right? We focus so much on the money that we ignore the process, the system, the strategy to get there. And then we don't even really connect it to the deeper reason why we want the money.
Right? Hearts, people hitting hearts already. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when we do the work of peeling back all the layers, and clients are asking, well, how do I make $1 million? My question back is, why do you want this? Right? Because change is challenging, right? When I tell you got to cut back on some things, or I'm going to ask you how you're going to make some more money, because the things you want to do, they cost, right? Yeah. And what's going to allow you to stay committed to the changes we put in place? Because if you've been doing something for 20 years and all of a sudden somebody comes in and is like, hey, you got to stop that, right? You're going to be met with resistance. Yeah. And the reason why you're changing has to be so compelling that it allows you to keep going even when it's hard. So peeling back to the why am I doing this, is what's going to allow you to stay committed. Because at the end of the day, the money in the bank account don't matter. And I know that's weird coming from a financial planner, but the reality is it's not about the money. It's about what the money gives you access to, the freedoms it buys. And so that achievement is realizing the dreams we want to have, and not so much, seeing a whole bunch of zeros in the bank account. Initially it does feel good, but the reality is it's empty if we don't really know what we want it for.
Which ties into something else I saw on your website that I loved, in the emotional attachment to money. And I quote again from her website: your emotional attachment to money is holding you back from going after all you want in life. It's time to break up with bad finances. I know Valentine's is coming and some of y'all got your breakup plans for that. But honey, you said break up with bad finances. I'm gonna let you. Yes. A necessity. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Val. Thank you. So that attachment to money, right?
Yeah.
What do we
Yeah.
do?
So it can come from a lot of different places. I know for many of us, sometimes we come from different types of financial trauma. And so even though we step into a space of entrepreneurship and now we know how to make money, it's like it's burning a hole in our pocket. And no matter how much we make, it just keeps going out unless we do something to deal with that, right? So we have to dig down to, what are the things that I believe about money that are causing me not to be able to accumulate wealth, right? So I know for me, one of the things I had to overcome was this subconscious belief that people who were wealthy were bad. Like it was not right to be wealthy, right? And that was something I had to fight because I was doing things that were against what I needed to do in order to accumulate wealth. And until you like dig down deep and understand like what am I thinking about money, you'll naturally just continue to do stuff that'll sabotage any plans you have. So for a lot of us, we need to like really sit back and like do the work and see like, do I have a negative attitude towards building wealth? And for some of us, we've been taught that, people who got a lot of money, they had to do something bad to get it, right? They was doing illegal stuff. And so then you associate negativity with wealth and you undermine all of your efforts because you don't want to be a negative or a bad person. And so you got to go back. And for me, I'm a woman of faith. And so I understand that abundance is my birthright.
Absolutely.
But until I began to believe that, right, and replace that with, instead of thinking that, people who have a lot of money are bad, I wasn't in alignment. So I couldn't do the things that I'm writing these plans because internally I didn't agree with it. So we have to really like take a step back and understand like, okay, what is going on in my mind that is telling me I got to spend this money, or is telling me that I can't afford to invest. I'm scared I'm gonna lose it all. Or what's telling me that, I have to buy all of these things to appear a certain way so that people will respect me, right? Or, give me some level of status, right? So there's all these different kind of things that we have to disconnect the emotional response to what we do with our money so that we can actually treat it like a resource and put that thing to work, right?
Yeah.
So like, that's the big thing. We got to learn to take our emotions out of it so much. Because let's be honest, right? We feel a way about money.
Yeah.
But if you get it to a place where you allow those emotions to control you, and now money is like ruling how you move, like payday, yes, I'm so happy. And when you don't have the money, you sad, like, no, baby, we got to do something different. So like, that's the biggest thing here is like learning to disconnect that emotional relationship so that you can just look at it as another asset. Yes, it buys me things, but at the end of the day, it's just something I'm exchanging to get the freedom I actually want.
Oh, this is powerful right here. And it makes perfect sense that your company, Mind Over Money. I mean, perfect sense. While listeners are here and viewers are here, how can they connect with you and follow you?
Yeah, so you can visit me at my website, www.mindovermoney.net. Every month, I actually host a free training where I talk more about the strategy behind how to build a financial plan. Because some people think that, it's only for people who are already millionaires. And I'm telling you, if you don't already have a lot of money, this is all the more reason why you should be planning, right? Because we have a small window of money that's left over that we really need to make it work, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first place. And then on social media, at Tremaine Wills on every single platform. I love creating video content. So you'll be able to find and see different things I'm teaching. Because naturally, I'm a teacher. I love to talk about different financial topics and really break it down in a way where it makes sense, right? It doesn't have to be something that's super like high above your head. It don't got to be all of that, right? We can break it down and make it something that you understand so that you can do something about it.
All right, there you go. Personal invitation to connect right there. And so, as we talk about financial planning, and for those that are just coming on in, hey there, we're glad to have you. We're talking about financial planning for entrepreneurs. What is the difference, or maybe different considerations versus maybe a W-2 employee, other than a W-2 employee of your own company? What are some considerations in this space?
Yeah, so I need my entrepreneurs to disconnect themselves from their business.
Mm.
A lot of us, and I don't mean to preach at y'all, but like I talk from a place of experience most of the time. So like I know for me, when I started this company in 2014, it was my baby. Okay.
Yeah.
This was my child. So when you don't buy with me, when you don't do business with me, I take it away, right? And I was so wrapped up in the identity of my business that I couldn't separate the two.
Yeah.
But we have to learn how to be ourselves, and then your business is a separate entity, and you have to manage the finances like that. So there has to be a complete separation of the goals that I have for my business and the goals I have for myself as a person. And a lot of entrepreneurs, especially starting out, there's no difference between the two.
Yeah.
And so as a W-2 employee, you get your paycheck, right? The company covers all the expenses, the overhead. They'll set up your retirement plan if they're a great company, right? They'll give you those benefits. But you as an entrepreneur, you got to do that same thing. You need to have benefits, a retirement plan in place so that one day you can stop working. A lot of entrepreneurs, they don't have any retirement structure in place. There's no strategy for how they're going to save. And a lot of it is just like, okay, what can I do to make sure I'm covering the bills I got right now? And whatever bucket of money there's available, I'm taking it out of there and I'm using for whatever I got to pay, right? And it causes us to operate in chaos. But when you have systems, structure, strategy in place, you can begin to start functioning as a true business owner and not a technician just inside, like grinding it out, right? But when you're able to make that shift, it becomes easier to actually fall back in love with the business that you're running, right? Because it's not so much about what thing do I need to do right now to make money? And it's more about, okay, why did I even come into this business? Why did I become an entrepreneur in the first place, right? Most of the time it's we were good at a skill and we wanted our freedom. But if you don't have your money right, you're going to start to hate that skill and there is no freedom. So putting yourself in a position where your business is operating as a business, it has financial systems, you as a person is operating a separate entity and you have financial systems, it will make life so much easier and the process of running a business much more enjoyable.
All right. And so you have a resource. You definitely have the RICH, which is the acronym, roadmap. And would that help someone, an entrepreneur that's kind of saying, where do I even start?
Absolutely. Right. So for a lot of business owners who are coaches and consultants, they follow a framework. Right. And so one of the things that we did was like, okay, we work with a lot of business coaches and consultants. We need to teach frameworks because that's how they think. Right. So we put a framework around how to structure a proper financial plan. Right. There are steps that you have to take. And if you follow these steps, you're having a wonderful result that you can use as a guide to take you down this path. So that's what this RICH roadmap does, right? It helps you identify, of course, what's important to you. Because at the end of the day, we need to be operating on a vision. Where am I trying to go, right? That's what that starting point will help you do. The R is for reimagine. Reimagine what you want your future to look like. Where is it that you're going? You have to see it before you see it. And so that first part helps you take a moment to sit back and think like, okay, what actually do I want to feel in 20 years? I've been doing all this hard work. What does it look like after I've put in all this work? I've made all this money. Who am I with? What are we doing? And like see all of that stuff, right? Because there's no way you can get to where you want to go if you don't know where you want to go, right? The next step is the I. That's when you identify like priorities, right? Because at the end of the day, something has to happen first. And if everything doesn't happen, what are the non-negotiables? So this is where you figure out, like, what are the things that are truly important to me? Like, I might see myself in a private jet, but if that's not really what's most important, that might be something I plan for after I decide, okay, I want to make sure my niece and nephew are going to have money for college.
All right. Yeah.
So like identify what those priorities are. Next, then we create the plan. A lot of people think, okay, I'm going to jump in. I need to open this account and that account and that account. What's the reason, right? Why are you opening these different accounts? So you do the structuring, the process after you figure out what it is that I want in the first place. Yeah. And then finally, I think this is the most important piece that a lot of people don't do, is they don't honor their commitments. So we sit down and we dream and we write the plan, and then life be lifing, and the plan go out the window and your faith just fails. And so with honoring the commitment, it's continually going back to that vision and believing that it is possible and putting yourself in the spaces where you make it an attainable reality for yourself. So that's what the Rich Roadmap is. It gives you the process, the structure that you need to put this into place.
How can listeners and viewers get their hands on it?
So if you go to my website, www.mindovermoney.net, you'll be able to sign up for the next free training and really get a deep breakdown of how we work through this thing. I also offer one-on-one work with creating this strategy, and then offer some group coaching around it too.
All right, wonderful. We have a question coming in from one of our viewers and listeners. And can an older person or senior citizen recoup using these strategies?
Yes. So the focus here will be identifying how aggressive you want to be inside of that. The C is where we create the plan. It does not take as much as people think to generate income, right? So one of the things that we're shifting from now in financial services is this idea that, I got to have a huge nest egg in order to retire. That's not true, right? What I need is something that replaces my active income with passive income. So if I know I only need $6,000 a month to retire, I don't need to figure out how I got to get to, $1 million in my account. I need to figure out, how do I bring in $6,000 a month so I can retire, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many different ways to do that, right? I can create a passive asset where the money's just coming in, right? Maybe I got real estate property, or there's so many ways to do it, right?
Right.
And so we can get disconnected from like the old way of thinking, where like, I just got to have a nest egg of money and I'm gonna draw down from it, and reconnect with like, what is actually possible. There's so many different ways to make it happen. So don't let age or inexperience or anything like that scare you into believing that it's not something that can happen, because a lot can happen in a year. A ton can happen in a year, right?
Yes,
and so the reality is, as long as the vision is there and the belief is there that either it's going to work or it's going to work, your brain will start to think of ways to make it possible. So I mean, really, that's why my company is called Mind Over Money, because it's not about the money. It really is about what's going on in your head and what you tell yourself is real.
Tremaine, listen, you are dropping mics. I would drop this mic, but I don't want to disrupt our broadcast here. You're getting some love from a fellow financial planner and advisor. Hey, Rita Stewart, Rich, outstanding. It is never too early or too late. Absolutely. Thank you, Rita, for being here with us. My goodness. And so tax season, is here. And so kind of as we come to a close, our time's flying by. Oh my goodness. Any last minute strategies or anything you would say in this kind of space of financial planning related to taxes? Yeah.
So I will say, and don't beat me up, y'all. Cheap is not always best, right? Especially as a business owner. I have a lot of clients that come to me, and we're working through something right now with one of them who's trying to buy a house.
Okay.
And the past 2 years before she came to work with us, they were writing off everything. And so her income last year showed $3,000. So if you're trying to buy a house, that's not a good thing, right?
Right.
So what I will say is it's important that you work with professionals that know what your goals are, so that
Yes.
the strategy around your tax planning aligns with those goals. Because you don't want to have to wait another year so that you can show like truly how much income you made, to be able to get that house or that property that you want. So one of the things I would love to see happen in our community is to not have the fear of taxes, but to invest in strategies that help you pay less in taxes the appropriate way. Because reality is taxes are just part of profit, right? You're making
Yeah.
money, you got to pay taxes, right? You don't got to pay a lot when you hire someone that knows how to avoid it, but writing everything off is not the answer either.
It's
So
nothing.
that's my biggest gift, if I could give it to you, would be align yourself with professionals that are more concerned with helping you reach your goals than figuring out what's the cheapest way to get something done.
Mm-hmm. Tremaine, that is good. And listen, Gwen said, I'm calling you tonight. No, LOL, just joking, but I'm definitely going to connect. There you there you go. There you go. Well, the final question I have for you, the goal of this show and this platform is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate Tremaine Wills.
That is a deep question.
Yes.
I really am excited about the idea of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that more of us should get to experience what it really feels like to be relieved from financial stress and to really enjoy the time we have doing what we would like to do instead of chasing money. So like for me, that's what really motivates and excites me, is how can I usher along more people to this path of freedom? Like, how can I help you not feel bound by,
Yeah.
chasing a check? Because it for me, it's a form of slavery to think about like,
Wow.
oh, I
Yeah.
can't do this thing because I need to make money.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, there we have it. And so it was just great to feature you and to chat with you through another unknown way. We met earlier today. Didn't even know you were already scheduled for this interview, and we connected through another way. So that was just a great divine alignment. I will call it, and we will keep our eye on you, and we wish you much continued success.
thank you so much. And again, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you extending your platform to me.
You are welcome. All right. Whoa, mic drops, nuggets, all of that. So I know this is a segment you're going to want to listen to. Again, easy way to do that, Sharvette.com, our main website. It has a beautiful picture of our guest, full bio, connection points. You can go read it, or guess what? You can click one of our new features and download, and it'll download a nice little PDF, and you'll have all of Tremaine's information right there. And again, if you're brand spanking new to me and you're like, hey, I don't even know how I got here, no problems. You're part of the family now. I'm Sharvette Mitchell, and I work with entrepreneurs to help them tell their stories through marketing so that they enrich their lives and grow their businesses. And it's just been a pleasure having you with us here today. Again, this segment is brought to you by my Facebook community. Hey, girl, hey. A lot of members are here. And you can find that very simply if you're outside of Facebook. Hey girl, hey .today, not .com, not .org. Hey girl, hey .today. That'll drop you right there. If you're inside Facebook, it'll say #coaching with Vet, which is me. I'm Vet. That's my nickname. And I offer exclusive training, all related to marketing in the community. And the next training that's coming up is Monday, January 30th. We'll be talking about confidence and marketing. So there is your invitation. And again, jump over to Sharvette.com to find out all the information about our guests, and make sure you get connected with the Rich Roadmap. And again, that's mindovermoney.net. Tremaine Wills was with us here today, and it's going to be a wrap. Thank you, Geraldine, for being here with us over on YouTube. All right, we're going to see you all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Get Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m. interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.